Ich will mein Achievement. Komm schon. Ich bin jetzt hier eine Woche gewesen und habe versucht, das hier loszukriegen. Und es hat nicht geklappt. Das Problem ist, dass ich mir nicht sicher bin, also ich traue dem Spiel zu, dass man hier immer wieder drücken kann. Und irgendwann kommt ein Achievement. Ist hier hinten irgendwas? Nee. Das Krasse ist auch, dass ich nur da einen Cursor auch habe. Seht ihr das? Den Kreis in der Mitte. Achtung. Weg ist er. Toll. Vielleicht öffnet sich ja auch mal irgendwo eine Tür oder so. Also bisher ist das hier alles große Kacke.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Sammelobjekte. Yeah.
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no
Gott, ist das freaky und
I
gruselig.
don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Oh, ist das angsteinflößend. Ich habe eine Figur. Eine von 6. Yay. Ja, okay. Bin ich? Oh Mann. Bin ich direkt wieder rein? Nee. Das ist ja freaky gewesen.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Bin ich wieder da rein jetzt? Oder ist es jetzt endgültig gesperrt? Nee. Das ist gesperrt, okay. Gut, dann gucken wir mal, was wir hier noch haben. Ah, da ist Exit, aber wir wollen noch, glaube ich, noch nicht.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the
Jump
Stanley
circle,
Parable
this map,
2,
free
now
achievement, the
that's
button
an
with the name,
artistic statement
merch.
right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Settings World Champion, Stanley Parable, Beruhigungseimer, Office Decoration, Epilog, Collectibles, Infinite Hold. Wir haben eigentlich alles außer das Settings World Champion. Ich bin jetzt hier. Moment. Ich bin jetzt hier links dran vorbei und dann auf der linken Seite hier, ne? Ist die Tür hier offen? Ne, schade. Hier quasi? Ach, da. Das hier? Ne, hier ist die Dekoration. Merch. Das da, oder? Ja oder nein? Ja. Das ist nicht mein Handy. Wenn ich hier weggehe. Hier stört ein Handy tatsächlich den Empfang. Also im Spiel. Aber ich habe immer noch nicht dieses World Champions Ding gefunden. Ist es das hier? Ah ne, hier ist für Jump Circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well.
Oh,
wait.
geil.
You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Oh, man darf hier nichts mitmachen, ey. Gucken wir nochmal hier oben. Was haben wir hier? Ah, da. Einstellungsweltmeister. Ups. Ja, das ist aber abgeschlossen. Teil 2 ist scheiße. Wir gehen jetzt. Hoffentlich muss ich den Eimer nicht mein Leben lang hier mitschleppen. Das sieht aus wie ein unendliches Loch. Da kann man doch wirklich nicht sehen. Ne?
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Oh. Ich will da weiter rauf. Oh. Oh.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Aha.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is.
Ich weiß nicht.
I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Das sieht lame aus.
Well, I mean,
Kacke.
there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement.
Ich kann diesen Eimer nicht
yes,
loswerden.
this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we
schon wie
go.
wild Knöpfe.
Version 2.
Das ist jetzt
Who
aber
am I
ganz
kidding,
schön.
Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course.
Ach so,
With
so wie
respect,
die Ultra Deluxe
with
Edition.
care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh Mann. Oh, mit dieser roten Tür. Ich könnte jetzt einfach zum Desktop zurück. Das ist krass. Das ist auf einer Metaebene so abgedreht, das Spiel. Ja dann, legen wir mal los. Darf ich jetzt durch diesen Raum gehen, der da gerade im Intro war? Das wäre geil.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Das ist... Oh, da war der Ballon!
Number 427
Habt ihr es gesehen? Oben rechts war der Ballon. Die
He
Dekoration,
sat at his
die war
desk in
ausgesucht,
room
die er ausgesucht
427,
hat.
and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Die Uhrzeit ist echt immer die gleiche. So, das sind jetzt die Ballons.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ah! Das ist aber auch neu. Der Beruhigungseimer, okay. Der ist auch jetzt aus. Ach ne, der war an, genau. Mal Valentine. Ach ja, genau, die neuen Becher.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Okay, diesmal ist hier kein neuer Content.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Hier ist jetzt nichts Neues, aber irgendwie... Oh, der geht auf.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you?
Sie will
The
den
aura
Eimer.
of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies.
Oh Mann, ey.
Stanley, don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket.
Doch.
I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments.
Wow.
Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Okay, kann ich den Eimer hier einfach irgendwo hinstellen? Nein. Dann halt
Okay,
nicht.
I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once
Das ist
and
neu.
for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled.
Oh Mann.
No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Okay, gut. Das haben wir.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Das ist doch richtig hier lang, ja, okay. Ah. Stand das vorher schon drauf? Executive Bathroom. Oh, Sammelobjekt!
Found one of them. One of the miniature
Nice!
Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Leute, ihr seid echt bescheuert. Gut, weiter geht's. Was? Achso, die beigen Seiten, okay. Dann gehen wir wieder hier lang.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. the bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
Tja, dann.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Ja.
Was it that the bucket knew all
Wow,
along?
was passiert jetzt?
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most
war auch
logical
so massiv dunkel.
explanation.
Ich wieder raus? Nö. Dann gehen wir halt hier lang. Sammelzeugs.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Toll. Ganz toll. Na, dann gehen wir jetzt mal runter. Oh, jetzt steht da einfach nur Loading. Krass.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Ja, dann gehen wir mal hin.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Ja.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Mhm. Ein Glück, dass ich den Eimer hab, ne?
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Oh Mann, ey.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But
Na
here
gut.
was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Aber meine Sammelfiguren. Oh. Na gut. Gucken wir uns das Ende jetzt mal an.
When at last they came to the source,
Boom.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it.
Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and
Oh.
What? Wait. What was happening?
Oh.
Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
Toll.
An unbearable silence filled the room,
Oh,
lingering
nein.
in uncertainty. Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
Oh,
Even
shit.
the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence
nein.
of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to
Oh
part with
nein,
the
oh
bucket.
nein, oh nein. Die Finsternis kommt. Oh nein.
Stanley can't leave this place, not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms, not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room, but at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Wow, das war das Ende? Bin ich da drin gestorben? Wieso stehe ich hier jetzt einfach so rum? Wieso sitze ich nicht da, wo ich eigentlich sonst starte? Das alles werdet ihr beim nächsten Mal sehen. Ich sage danke fürs Zusehen und tschüss, bis dann.